Morning, Melissa.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Oh, just another day in paradise. Just another day in paradise. I gotta tell you, I kind of like the Zoom meetings. It gives people who couldn't make it to meetings but can listen and advise a way to do it.
Right, exactly.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jadick.
What's my name say? It says Steve Brenner now. Good.
Morning.
Morning, Robert.
Morning.
That was a good response, Steve.
Thanks.
Hi, Scouts.
We'll get started here in a minute, everybody. And just so everybody's aware, we have a few Boy Scouts from our local Troop 413 that are working on a merit badge. So they're on the call or on the Zoom meeting here also. So we'll get into, once we call the meeting to order, we'll try. See, there's a lot of people on the call. We'll try to see if we can go around and identify ourselves, at least maybe the members of the rec board, so the scouts kind of know who's who. Okay, and I don't see, let's see. Just checking if we have a quorum of rec board members. Rob, do you know if we have, I don't see the list. Do you know if we have a quorum, Rob, of rec board members?
Yeah, I can see Eric, Randy, Sally, Kate, Pete's on.
Okay, yep. Oh, I see the list here. I see the participants.
Yep.
And Rob, do you think, should I have it looks like we have over 30 people on the call. Should I go around and have people introduce themselves? Is that worth doing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You know,
I guess everybody could look at the participant list to see who's on the call. How about that? Okay, so it's 11:01, and we'll call this Recreation Board meeting to order. My name is Eric Esterbrook. I'm the Rec Board President, and we will get right into our agenda. Again, like I was saying just before the meeting started, we have some scouts from Troop 413 working on citizenship merit badge. Eli is on the call with me here for a few minutes. I'll do this. So first thing on our agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment?
Not for me.
Okay, not hearing any other public comment. Next on our agenda would be the approval of the May meeting minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from May.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Eric Donahue, and I did not hear who seconded that.
Natalie. Oh, and another one.
Natalie? Okay. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed to the motion? Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda is our financial report. And Randy, are you on the call?
I'm here. Yep.
All
Morning,
right.
everyone. Everybody's staying
Morning.
well. Really not a lot to report on the financial report this month. A couple of line items jump out, really not income or expense. You'll see a refund of some Happy Hollow rentals. We are, even though the pool and the playground aren't open, and the parks, we are incurring the expenses to maintain lawn mowing and general maintenance and utilities. No real questions on here. You will note an expenditure for programs and publications. I believe that was for the rec guide that went out. And other than that, nothing crazy jumps out. I do still point out we did have some investment in the playground area, which our year-to-date May were at just under $24,000, which I know we've talked about last months. So nothing jumps out there. A couple of expenses that we incurred ahead of time for the 4th of July and Memorial Day parade. Obviously, both of those are not occurring. So I guess I would throw that question to Rob. We've got some prepaids that we'll be able to roll the next year. I know some of that was the flags. Are there any expenses that we're not going to be able to get refunds on for things for the 4th of July parade?
Yeah, so the only expenses we had there were the flags and then the buttons that we order. And obviously the buttons have the date on them, so we cannot use those next year. So I'm not quite sure. We just have a couple boxes of buttons for both Memorial Day and July 4th, but the flags definitely will be used next year.
Okay, so again, other than that, really nothing other than normal general operating expenses that we've paid out with pretty much zero on the revenue side. A little year to date, a little bit of some prepaid. What will we do with concert in the park donations?
I have sent emails out to the sponsors asking, letting them know, for instance, the Reading Pops concert that is sponsored by Redner's. I let them know that we had decided to hopefully reschedule that towards the end of the summer.
Right.
And, if not, I'd talk to them again if they want their sponsorship money back, or if they'd like to have it stay with the borough. And I'm waiting to hear back from some of the other concert sponsors too.
Okay, thanks. Other than that, nothing really to point out. Are there any questions, concerns, comments? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Not hearing any questions for the for the financial report, I will entertain a motion to accept the financial report
I'll make a motion.
made by Eric Donahue.
Second.
Do we have seconded by, was that Sally McAvoy?
Yep.
Thank you. Anyone opposed to the financial report? Okay, motion carries. Next on our agenda is the rec director's report. So Rob, you're on.
Okay, I sent out my report, much shorter than usual. If there's any questions, I can answer them. I've been working with the parks maintenance guys, doing some things, and just trying to stay on top of all the changes to guidelines and things like that. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Rob, just quick comment. Thank you to Rob for coordinating. We put together a very nice, short, but important piece on Memorial Day, Monday morning. Hopefully you guys were able to see that online on our video that we did. Angela, our videographer, did a phenomenal job. And thanks to Fred Levering for joining us, Tom Wall for joining us, and our trumpet player, Mr. Dietrich. His name's escaping me.
Yeah.
But, great. It was a good, brief but important recognition of all that gave their lives for the country. Thank you.
It was very nice, Rob.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Fran.
thank you.
Very nice. Well done. Okay, so that was anything else for Rob and the rec director's report? Okay, thank you, Rob. And then the next thing on our agenda was Memorial Day, but it looks like Randy just gave a recap of that. Is there anything else on Memorial Day, Rob, that you want to add to that?
No, it was nice, and I, want to thank Randy and Angela and Tom and Mayor Levering, as well as Aiden, for coming out. We felt it was very important to do, and it was nice. So thank them.
Sorry about that. Jump the gun on the agenda.
No worries.
Okay, that will take us into old business, which would be discussions on opening the pool, playground, the tennis courts, and the baseball and soccer facilities. Rob, is there any particular order you want to get in on, take any of these?
No, I think Pat wants us to go into executive session at this time to talk about those. Is that correct, Pat?
Yes, that's a recommendation since it involves staff.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, so
there's a staff issue, so that requires an executive session. Should we then do anything else on our agenda, Rob? Should we get into new business or pickleball at the
No,
Hills?
let's go into the executive session and then come right back to this, and we'll finish up.
Don't we
Okay.
have to make an announcement of what time we're coming back?
We should do that. Just an estimate of a time. You want to say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
I would say 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will, and Rob, so it would be the rec board members that go to the executive session, correct?
Yes, and Pat.
Okay,
and Chris.
And we have that. I think that information is sent with every email when we've been doing these Zoom meetings. So rec board members refer to your email from the other day, and then we'll come back to this meeting when we're done in approximately 15 minutes. Does everybody understand? Any questions on that?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Estabrook, do you want the
Yes.
the student reps to come too?
No.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we will see everybody in the executive meeting and return here in approximately 15 minutes.
Okay.
That was the longest 15 minutes.
All right, it looks like everyone's making their way back to the meeting here. Thank you, everybody, for your patience and hanging in there, that we're waiting for us to return. Okay, scrolling through the participant list, looks like we have all of our rec board members back on the call here. Okay, so we will, Rob, could you start us off with a roll call of voting rec board members, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Angela Dewan. Okay.
Here.
Eric Donahue. Sally Donato.
Present.
Kate Fanning.
Here.
Pete Beck.
Here.
Sally McAvoy.
Here.
Randy Widener.
Here.
Natalie Loeb.
Here.
Andrea Berger.
Here.
Steve Bruner. Here. Morgan Williver. Thomas Foster.
Here.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
And what we will entertain a motion to make a recommendation to council. So what that means for all the scouts and other people that are on the call here, the Wyomissing, we're the recreation board, and we will make a recommendation to Borough Council, who then has the final say on most matters that have to do.
Give me I started writing out the email. I haven't sent it yet. Can you give me the list of what they've done again?
Hold on. Tell Mr. McHale to stop talking.
Hey, Jim, you want to
sorry.
mute? Okay. Thank you, Jim. He's our scout master. He does a fabulous job, by the way. Okay, so we have.
So they created a walk-in closet.
He's still not on mute. Okay, so we have. Sorry, I just got to go back to my agenda here. So we have a few items to discuss about opening discussions. We have to make recommendations to open the pool, to open the playground, to open the tennis, and then to open the baseball and soccer facility. So we will take each of them individually. And the first thing on our list would be a recommendation for a pool opening. So I will now entertain a motion to make a recommendation to council about opening the pool.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Eric Donahue,
I can second that.
Oh, I can't second.
seconded by Sally Donato.
Donato.
And that's for opening the pool, correct?
Well,
Correct.
Or is it just making the,
Eric, you should clarify your motion. What's your intention?
my motion was to, if I'm doing this correctly, to have it open. My vote would be to open.
Okay. So as I understand, Eric's motion is to recommend to council that the pool be opened.
Correct.
Okay, sorry. Let me take that back. I was just thinking we were
Yeah,
just
I just
making
want
a
to
decision.
clarify that when you said it, right?
I can second that.
are we making a blanket recommendation? I guess, tell me when I can ask a question.
Go ahead, Steve, ask a question.
Are we making a blanket recommendation to open it? Or are we going to make a statement saying, provided it's got insurance coverage, provided all that other good stuff, that has to be done?
That's a good idea. We could we could amend the motion to say, based on staff availabilities and insurance parameters.
Yeah, I mean, I would make a motion based on that. I think that's definite. Yeah.
Okay, and Sally, you seconded that motion. Are you okay with the amendment?
No.
No. Okay, so then if I remember Robert's Rules of Order, the amendment then failed.
Does anybody else want to second it?
Yeah, somebody else might want to second it.
Well,
I'll
believe,
I think Sally McAvoy seconded it.
Yeah,
after Sally.
I can second it.
okay. So you said who? Okay, we had a motion that was seconded. So who seconded the first
With the
motion?
amendment.
Well, I think Robert's rule. I think we had a motion with a second. Okay.
Eric, if you're going to follow Robert's rules, the the first motion could be withdrawn,
That's what I was getting at.
or it could be amended, and the amendment would require a vote. So it might be easier if Eric withdrew his initial motion and then offered a new motion.
All right, I'll withdraw the initial motion and make a motion to Borough Council to be open the pool this summer in accordance with insurance regulations, staffing, and all guidelines that should be in place.
Okay. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Sally McAvoy. All those, any other discussion before we vote? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
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 I counted seven yes. All those opposed?
Nay.
All those, so one no. All those abstaining?
Abstain.
Beck? Any other abstentions?
I cannot vote, so.
You're an abstention, Kate.
Okay,
The student reps don't vote, correct?
That's correct, Thomas.
Okay, got it.
okay, so we have 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstention.
Two.
Two abstentions. Okay, 2 abstentions. Okay, so the motion carries. The motion will go to Borough Council that we will open the pool if we can meet staff requirements and the insurance parameters, and that we have proper guidelines in place.
Correct.
Okay, next on the agenda, next thing would be the playground opening. And we'll follow the same process. Someone can make a motion to open the playground. Anyone like to make a motion to open the playground?
I'll make a motion.
Or I'm sorry, to recommend council to open the playground. And who made that motion?
Angela.
Angela, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Pete Beck. Any other discussions? All right.
Eric, I have
Yes.
a discussion.
Yes, Pat.
Keep in mind, folks, we logistically cannot follow or meet the qualifications and requirements of the CDC for Happy Hollow.
Okay, we will take that into consideration. All those in favor?
Now, is this with the same conditions that were attached to the pool motion? I didn't hear any conditions on this.
Right.
Okay.
Is there any Angela, you made the motion. Would it be the same conditions as the pool? That there would be
Staffing, CDC guidelines. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And the seconder of the motion, you're okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
I had 3 yes. All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Here.
Nay.
Nay.
I counted 6 nays. Any abstentions? Okay, that motion does not pass. So that motion we will not make a recommendation to open the playground. Okay, the tennis. And we'll entertain a motion with the same requirements, with the CDC guidelines, the insurance, and staffing availability. Would someone like to make?
I don't know what the requirements are for tennis.
And this is, just to be clear, this is for the tennis program,
Okay,
not just opening the tennis courts.
just the tennis program,
Right.
like kind of like the
lessons.
playground.
Yeah.
Okay. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'd
I'll
like to
make
make the motion to open the tennis camps and with all the requirements of the CDC being followed.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Eric. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I believe I had 7 there. Can we do that again? I lost count. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That was 8. Okay, 8. You got 8?
That's 6.
Okay. All those opposed?
Nay.
1. Any abstentions?
I don't understand what a tennis lesson is, so I can't possibly vote on that.
I couldn't.
It's the program offered.
Well, can I just say something too? I think Rob did get the actual USTA guidelines that they put out for what safe tennis is to them. So I think you probably got it maybe 2 weeks ago, or was it?
Yeah, I just don't know what the physical process
Oh,
of
the
it.
physical process. I mean, I mean, I've played tennis all my life, so you can definitely social distance in tennis. I mean, it's definitely possible down to Stonehouse.
Okay.
You just might have to, yeah. I think you could do it.
If you can prove that you can do it, I'll vote yes then too.
Again, it's similar to the playground. You're going to have groups of young kids gathering down at the tennis courts. They wouldn't be able to share their own equipment, things like that nature.
Okay, well that's different then. If they can't share their own equipment, then forget it. Then no to me.
Okay, we have an objection from a participant that I'll just read, that there's an objection based on the Sunshine Act. The president did not clarify what the subject of the executive meeting. So I guess that's my responsibility here. So
Eric, before
Yes.
we went into executive session, I think you did state in the public meeting that it related to personnel matters. That's my recollection. I don't know if
Yes.
anyone else remembers hearing that.
No, I believe that was true.
Okay, so are we in violation of the Sunshine Act?
No, that is a permissible subject of an executive session.
Thank you. Okay, so back to the tennis program. We had a majority vote to recommend opening the tennis program. So that takes us to our last thing would be baseball, to open the baseball and soccer facilities. And I will entertain a motion with the same guidelines, the same requirements with insurance, CDC, and personnel. Would anyone like to?
And Eric, also I would add in that motion that the groups like Wyomissing, Little League, and the Wyomissing Soccer have to provide us with liability or waivers that they collect from their participants. That would also release and hold harmless the borough.
Okay, so that motion would include waivers from the different organizations that use our facilities. Would anyone like to make?
I'll propose that.
Pete Beck, any seconds?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Eric Donahue. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
So, Eric, I'm trying to get in for discussion. When are we talking about doing this?
The timelines?
Talking about letting them do it. Are we talking about letting them do it in yellow? Are we talking about letting them do it in green, or tell them let them do it when it's past green?
That's a good question. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I'd say we could amend the recommendation to say the rec board would recommend that we look at it when it's green, not during yellow.
So if if we get to green, then we would allow the baseball and soccer facilities to be used.
Ideally.
Okay, does everyone understand the motion?
But I just want to clarify, that doesn't mean green across the board and all the votes we had today,
No, this is just for the
just for that.
facilities. Yeah, baseball
Okay.
and soccer.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I comment on the green and yellow? So yellow, from my understanding, is a 25-person limit. Is that true, Rob?
Let me pull it up real quick here. Again, these recommendations are for, and the reason this came up is because the Little League had already wrote to us with their recommendations and what they plan on doing and being responsible for. Let me just get to this.
Wall board, Rob?
Yeah, they're bored. So in yellow, for baseball, softball, organized team sports are not permitted. Pickup games are permitted. In green, there's no restrictions on the physical contact. Each baseball diamond is not to exceed gatherings of 90 people. Games and practices scheduled with 15-minute buffer between. Game balls are to be disinfected after every game and practice. Sharing of equipment is discouraged. Players shall not huddle together, do hand slaps. So yeah, in the green, it's definitely doable for organized team activities.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep. Soccer and football are pretty much the same.
Okay, I think we should restate the motion.
Yes, please.
Is there, are we taking, who made, you made the motion, right?
I made the motion.
He did.
Would you be able to restate the motion, or I can try to piece it together? I don't know if I
Sure,
remember.
I'll give it my best shot here. I propose that the rec board recommend to Borough Council that soccer and baseball facilities, and I guess softball facilities too, be opened when the state determines we are in green.
Okay, and
And,
the second,
and with the other conditions as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. And then the seconder of the, and who seconded that motion?
I'll
I did.
second that. Yeah,
Oh, fine.
And
It doesn't matter.
that seconded it?
Say that again?
Was that, who seconded that?
I think
Angela?
Eric did, but I would as
Eric?
well.
Oh, Eric did. Okay, Eric, and you agree with that motion?
Yes.
That's what you seconded? Yes. Did you agree with that, Eric Donahue?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. All right, that takes us out of old business into new business. Is there any new business?
Actually, Eric, I'm going to bring up new business. In terms of our facilities, we have our tennis courts. I've been receiving lots of emails and calls about when we're going to open those. I would like to see the rec board make a recommendation to open those up for just regular use, the tennis courts, as the CDC and the NRPA guidelines will allow that in a yellow phase.
Rob, how does that impact the basketball court at Happy Hollow?
Basketball is different because it's it's considered a contact sport.
Contact sport.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
we would just have to put some signage down at the tennis courts. And my recommendation would be to remove the 2 center nets to be further risk management safety wise. That way there's not 3 games going on in each court, because I would anticipate a lot of people are going to rush down there to play.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But I think that's probably one of the things we can open first.
So it would be, we would make a recommendation. Now, do we make a recommendation to council, or are we allowed to say that, are we allowed to do that on our own, Rob?
I would recommend the council based on
Okay.
the, yeah.
Okay, so we would need a motion to open the tennis court. Was that the only facility, right? Just the tennis courts, Rob?
Yeah, that would be the first one, yeah.
With
Okay.
removal of the 2 center courts.
Yeah, the nets.
All right.
I'll make a
Anyone-
motion that we give the Borough Council a recommendation of opening the Stonehouse tennis courts per the guidelines we've also discussed today.
With removal of the center nets?
Correct. Correct.
Yes. Okay, motion made by Eric Donahue. Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Seconded by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Is there any other new business? Not hearing any. The last thing on our agenda would be a correspondence regarding pickleball at the Hills. Rob, would you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been receiving some phone calls from Hills residents, members of the Hills pool, that they're concerned about the amount of people playing pickleball over at the Hills courts, which, if you remember, we repainted the basketball courts and we put pickleball lines down on those courts. It's been discovered by the pickleball community, and they are taking advantage of it, playing. We do not provide any of the equipment. And so I had ventured over there one day to speak to a group that was playing, just to remind them of the guidelines. While we were still in red, there couldn't be gatherings of more than 10 people. And I found out that most of the players were actually Wyomissing residents, which was great. Because the initial complaints were people were coming from all over to play pickleball, but they were actually Wyomissing residents, which I was encouraged by. I did speak to the one person who was leading their specific group. I gave him my business card, and I reminded him that if he could share with his fellow players that people should not park in the Hills parking lot, the pool parking lot, and that they should be conscious of the amount of people they have there at any given time. I just brought it up to you all in case you had any complaints come your way from other residents about it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rob. Any other discussion?
What is pickleball?
No more correspondence? Okay, that's the end of our meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Eric Donahue. Anyone opposed? Not hearing any. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending. I hope the scouts learned something. All right. So,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.